Hey, remember when I said we were going to talk about Armenia this episode? Yeah, I lied. Instead, we're going to look at the state system. It's been about 2 years and I don't think I've ever gone over it. Although there was some semblance of international relations in medieval times and even earlier, to an extent, the modern concept of the state system developed in the early modern period in Europe. Previous to this period, there were kingdoms and empires, sure, but they behaved a lot differently than they do today. Authority was split between not just the king, but the church as well. On top of that, borders changed almost constantly, and there was no real consensus as to where one country ended and another began. As such, it led to many clashes, the most important of which is the 30 Years' War. The war engulfed pretty much all of Europe, but it brought all the powers of Europe together in 1648 at the end of the war, and they created the Peace of Westphalia. It recognized the state as the entity of international relations, and it set up the rules for these new states. The main tenet to come out of this is the notion of sovereignty, that no country could interfere with another unless they asked for it. Now, this has been violated many times by many countries, both in the past and recently. America. And that is another video in and of itself. But let's get back to the main point. The Peace of Westphalia solidified the notion that states were the main political actor in international relations. Within the state system in Europe, there was still a hierarchy. Countries fought for hegemony, which is dominance by one country over all the others. European states themselves tried to gain power over their neighbors, such as, for example, the Austro-Hungarian Empire under the Habsburgs, Napoleon. However, they were all put into check by coalitions of different powers across the continent. This was known as the Concert of Europe. Recently, the sole power to emerge out of the Cold War has been the US, and it's able to exert its will across the world with basically no one to stop them. Only time will tell if China will become strong enough to act as a check to the US, as the Soviets were to the US in the Cold War, or if China will just become another hegemon. Now we've gone to the modern day. It's an interconnected and global world, so much so that it's been argued that the state's dead, and if not dying. We have intergovernmental organizations such as the UN and EU, which foster cooperation between nations, and in the case of the EU, act as a regulatory second government superimposed onto their respective national government, which is, kind of the reason why the UK left. However, it's unlikely that the state's going to go away anytime soon. Yes, interconnectivity has made things easier for people to subvert the state for good or for ill. The state system has been the dominant system for the better part of 400 years, and it doesn't seem to be breaking down anytime soon. It's the basis on which academic international relations is built, and it informs our decisions made between countries in some way or another. I promise that we'll do Armenia next, but I thought it'd be a really good idea to put everything into historical context first as to what the field's about, because I haven't done that yet. And please stay tuned for other videos, like Armenia. Until then,